House Bill 707. Sergeant Arms today are Jonas Cherry, Ray Cook, Teresa Ferguson, and Stafford Young. As I said, we do have one PCS. That's the PCS for House Bill 707. Without objection, it will be committee. Seeing none, so ordered. The chair has been made aware that there are not yet hard copies of this PCS available. There is a printing issue, but members should have the latest version of the PCS in their inbox, and also for the public, the latest version of PCS is on the committee's website. Representative Hunt, you have the floor to explain your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And members of the committee, I'm very happy to be here today. We are here to help the citizens of North Carolina, especially those with student debts. House Bill 707. Why do we need this bill? 1.3 million North Carolinians owe nearly $48 billion in student loan debt. That is triple the amount among North Carolinians since 2008. The average student loan debt is $36,200. And these are primarily borrowers of color, rural borrowers, and low-income borrowers who experience the most hardship when paying back their student loans. Why do we want this bill? The problem is lenders hire loan officers to collect payments from borrowers and respond to borrowers' questions regarding their accounts. Unfortunately, servicers don't always give borrowers correct information about their options. In North Carolina, borrowers don't have much protection when loan servicers provide them with bad or incomplete information. Before COVID-19, at least 16.5% of North Carolina student loan borrowers were in severe delinquency. Loan servicers steer borrowers to the most expensive options. Sometimes they lose or delay the processing of applications or provide misinformation about what they need to do to finish paying off their student loans. So, student borrowers often end up paying more than they need to. They also fall behind in their payments, and that affects their credit scores, and they actually owe more than they did when they first got the loans. As we know, the pandemic has made everything worse. 45% of student borrowers reported a decrease in their income. Student borrowers who are struggling to pay their loans due to no fault of their own has a huge effect on North Carolina's economy. Borrowers reduce the amount they save for retirement. They put off major purchases like a car or a house, and they often don't move out of living with their parents. This bill will license and regulate servicers and collect complaints from borrowers in order to protect North Carolina student borrowers. Then we will have a better economy because all of these student borrowers will become good members of our economic society. So this bill has been a long time coming. We have had many stakeholders coming to the table for months and months of negotiations. I especially want to thank the University of North Carolina system, the North Carolina Community College system, North Carolina State Education Assistance Authority, North Carolina Independent Colleges and Universities, and the Center for Responsible Lending, and the AG's office. We also have the Commissioner of Banks. So in the interest of time, will not go through the entire bill, but this is the overview. House Bill 707 will require the Commissioner of Banks to license and regulate student loan servicers. It will establish duties of student loan servicers to borrowers, as well as prohibited conduct. It creates a new Article 9 in Chapter 75 of the General Statutes that would deem certain conduct related to student loans to be an unfair or deceptive trade practice. That part was removed in the PCS. And it would establish the position of the Student Loan Ombudsman. Instead of, in the PCS, instead of having the revision Article 9, we have put something at the very end saying Article 75 will not be abrogated by any part of the bill. So I am happy to stand for questions. We all know we want North Carolina to have the best economy it can have, and making it easier for students to pay back their loans will go a long way in making our economy better. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Hunt. Members, hard copies of the bill are being passed out to the committee. Any committee discussion? Representative Smith, you're recognized.
I just want to do a motion to approve at acceptable time.
I'm sorry?
I want to make a motion to approve this.
Motion, okay.
Yeah, at acceptable time.
Did I see Representative Moray's hand? Or was it Representative Ensko? I apologize. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Representative Hunt, I'm curious to know if there has been litigation around this issue of the people who communicate with the students about giving incorrect information.
Yes, Representative Ensko. The Attorney General's office does have several suits about that, and they were instrumental in helping us negotiate this bill.
Further discussion among members of the committee? Seeing none, the chair has been made aware that there are public members who wish to speak on the bill. The chair will allow 1 minute for each speaker. If you would, please identify yourself and who you represent.
Chair Hardister, Vice Chairs, members of the committee, good morning, and thank you for hearing the Student Borrowers Bill of Rights this morning. My name is Rochelle Sparko, and I'm the Director of North Carolina Policy at the Center for Responsible Lending. Student debt weighs people down. It holds families back from reaching middle-class security and negates the benefits of higher education for those who work hard in pursuit of the American dream. Over 1.3 million North Carolinians owe $48 billion in student loan debt. That amount has tripled over the last decade, which is the second highest increase in the nation. The Student Borrowers Bill of Rights will create some oversight of student loan servicers so that North Carolinians can count on solid, responsible service. Many other states have recognized the role that state policymakers have in addressing the student debt crisis. They've also recognized the significant harm that can be done to student borrowers when shoddy practices of student loan servicers are permitted. Over a dozen states have already passed legislation similar to what you consider today. All of us know people struggling to pay student loan debt. The most impacted are those who've had to take on the most debt because they've had no family wealth to help them through college. These include first-generation college students, low-income families, communities of color, and rural students. For these groups, the promise of college is tarnished by the painful load of debt many will carry for their lifetimes. Passing the Student Borrowers Bill of Rights is an important step toward helping them restore this promise, and I hope that you will support this legislation. Thank you all.
Anyone else from the public wish to speak on the bill? Seeing none, we'll move back to the committee. Further discussion among members of the committee? Seeing none, Representative Smith, you're recognized for a motion.
Let me see if I get this right. I move to approve this PCS unfavorable to the original and referred to banking.
I think you nailed it. Members, you've heard the motion. All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. The ayes have it. The bill passes. With no further business, the committee stands adjourned.
Thank you.